the only one YouTube channel. First of all, I wanted to say thank you very, very much for tuning in, taking time out of your busy day, busy schedule to watch my video. I also, excuse me, pardon me, wanted to apologize for having been out of touch with all of you for so long, but I've had a lot of extreme technological issues and difficulties. I am hoping I have most of them all ironed out now, but only time will tell. I just ask for your patience right now and your courtesy in the meantime. And also, I just wanted to say up front, if by the end of this video you like this information and you appreciate what I was able to bring to you, do me a big favor. Number one, leave me some comments down in the section down below. I'd love to hear some of your stories, and I'd also like to find out if you were able to tell me if any of this information was helpful, new, unknown, and or something that you can at least take with you, as they say, something that you can use for yourselves in the future. Also, number two, it would be a really, really big help if you would hit the subscribe button down below. And by all means, if you want to be notified of any future videos, you will have to hit the bell icon to go along with it. So, with that being said, and without much further ado, let's get started. Once again, the name of my video today is Financial Narcissists and How It All Began. And also, I'm hoping and praying that my voice lasts for this taping, so please have patience with me. First of all, when you're dealing with narcissists, one thing that you have to remember is literally forget everything you knew about this individual. But I mean that with some specificity. In other words, don't forget all the awful and terrible things they're doing to you, because you'll need that information to help yourself later. No, that's not what I'm saying. In other words, forget what you thought you knew about them being nice and kind and courteous and generous and this and that and the other. You got to throw all that out, because now that things have turned sour between you or amongst you, the playing field is completely different. The only thing that is important to remember at this particular time is that once a narcissist has started down the path of financial abuse, they operate with absolutely no moral filter. I repeat, they operate with no moral filter. They literally exist in their own vacuum without a moral compass at all to guide them, yet they operate with every bit of malice in their intent. Again, this is something to keep in mind so that you can steer clear of them, hopefully, and or get yourself some help if you need to. So let's start from the beginning in terms of where did this whole notion of narcissists come from. And for that, unfortunately, we have to go all the way back to ancient Greek mythology. You see, the first person that we could tag, so to speak, as being a narcissist is none other than Narcissus himself. And Narcissus was definitely not the only one. And what I mean by that is that he, with what he did, started basically his own movement. In fact, he spawned generations of followers just like himself that became so enamored with themselves, with their abilities, with who they are and how they exist in the world, that they just couldn't get enough of themselves, and they just couldn't imagine that anyone would want to not be around them. That was the fatal flaw of Narcissus, to the point where he literally admired himself to death. Also, let us not forget the fact that Narcissus himself garnered millions of fans, millions of followers over the millennia. And he was also the first person who taught the rest of us about self-love, even well before the age of Aquarius. For those of you that are of a certain age, I am sure that you may remember the popular culture movement of the age of Aquarius. You see, for Narcissus, his example of love was nothing more than an example of self-love, and it was self-love before all others. He, in turn, however, created his own copycat movement. A narcissist is not the same by any other name. Think you know your narcissist? Think you know what they're about? Think you know all their capabilities? Think you know them inside and out? Well, think again, because at this point in time, now that they've gone after you financially, guess what? You're now in a completely different ballpark, completely different ball game. The rules have now turned vastly different from what you were used to when you were dealing with this individual on supposed equal footing. Because you see, narcissists are always, always, always on the lookout. They're on the lookout for how to have an advantage over you, how to take advantage of you, and they will take advantage of those around you when they can't get to you directly. Do not delude yourself to these tactics by the narcissist. They are sneaky. They are cunning. They are covert. They do things in the shadows. They do things when you least expect them to. Do not ever let yourself be fooled by this. Not at all. For you see, narcissists who engage in financial abuse or financial narcissism do so for one reason and one reason alone. They want to completely envelop and completely and totally control all aspects of your life. More often than not, when a narcissist has exhausted all other means of control over you, whether it's because you have gone gray rock, no contact, or because they can't physically get access to you, they will inevitably go after your money. Make no mistake about that. They will leave no stone unturned when they decide to dig their claws into you for financial assets. Why? Well, because for one thing, narcissists are the absolute ultra original fleecing agents. And no, I'm not talking about fleece the fabric. And I didn't say fleas, I said fleecing agents. That's an American term which basically means they will figure out a way to loose you from your money. And these fleecing agents, trust me, they are one of a kind. And they know all the tricks, they know all the tactics, they know how to do it. And they will do it with complete aplomb and will not think twice about doing it. For you see, these fleecing agents are the original smooth operators of their industry. And believe it or not, if you think that they're not slick and that they don't have something else up their sleeve, guess what? Just as soon as you think that you know them inside out, guess what? Next thing you know, they're going to be coming to a theater near you. Narcissists that financially abuse others are very, very adept at what they do. They will employ a whole range of tactics. In some instances, they may offer to handle all the finances for you. They may even never let you see your own checkbook or checkbook that is there jointly. They never include you in financial decisions. Sometimes you may find that they tell you, "Oh no, that's okay, dear. It's better if I just do it. Don't worry about it. I'll handle everything. Just leave all the money situations to me." However, the moment you try and have financial control for yourself, the narcissist steps up his game. He or she tightens down the clamps around you even tighter, thus making it even harder for you to completely have control over your own situation. Other tactics may include, but they are not limited to, number one, locking you away from or separating you from your own money, whether physically or through other means. Number two, misappropriating money and then blaming you for it. On the flip side, conversely, they may also try and reappropriate those very self-same funds back to you, but they do so at a cost, at a catch, or with some sort of caveat for you to effectively earn back access to your own money. That's right, they will actually try and figure out how you can earn your money back from them. But don't be fooled, because again, don't be fooled into this false sense of financial generosity. Remember, stay focused. Stay focused on what they're doing. Stay focused on your money. Watch for strange activity around certain dates or days that were never important to the narcissist ever before, because this may signal the presence of or the current existence of some sort of covert financial behavior. Here's where it gets very dicey. The narcissist that you are dealing with may actually become very, very behaviorally volatile. Don't be too surprised if he or she or they start screaming, start yelling, start shouting. They may even become enraged that their ideas and their plots and schemes didn't work before. Because you see, in their mind, well, heck, it's worked for the last 20 years, 30 years, 15 years, whatever. And they are absolutely besides themselves and angry that it didn't work anymore, or that you were able to stop them in their tracks, and or, if anything, if you were able to garner enough support from others who helped you stop these people dead in their tracks. Be prepared for a backlash, because narcissists don't take kindly to, nor do they put up easily with defeat. This is why going gray rock and no contact is so very, very important at all times. When and if you are ever successful at defeating the narcissist, make sure that you have a backup plan or people around you to help you fend off these types of individuals. Remember, they're going to become extremely angry. They may even become volatile. They may threaten you personally, or they may threaten others and loved ones around you. It may not always be easy to break the financial bond, but you've got to figure out a way to do it. Have several backup plans in the works. In other words, have several backup battle plans to employ. They may just come in handy at some point. Never underestimate this at all. In reference to backup financial battle plans, number one, if you already have suspected that the person or persons you're dealing with is a narcissist, they may ask you for loans. They may ask you to pay a bill, or they may ask you to become attached in some way to some other financial burden. Please do not do that. Do not do it at all, no matter how sincere that request might be. Remember, this is only, number one, a ploy. It is a ploy to see how easily you can comply, or how easily they can get you to separate yourself from your own money. And B, their tactics in this regard is a method of them trying to distract you from paying attention to their activity. Do not be fooled by this either. Remember, you need to be vigilant financially at all times when dealing with a narcissist. Do not take anything at all for granted. Number two, if you are able to keep a stash of money somewhere that the narcissist does not know about, it is highly advisable that you do so as swiftly and as quickly as possible. Safeguarding your assets at the earliest possible juncture and convenience is important. In fact, it is imperative that you do so. Doing so might mean the difference between a warm place to sleep one night for you and your loved ones, or sleeping someplace that you might not want to be. Number three, if you and the other person or persons has ever have or currently has jointly anything in your name, and the relationship or situation has gone sour, by all means get your name or your names or your company name or your company ties off of those financial bindings right away. Do not delay. While you're taking your time contemplating your next move, trust that your opponent or opponents, narcissist or otherwise, are already working at least 4 steps ahead of you. This is the reason why you need to be way, way ahead of them. When you are least expecting them to hit you in the pocket, that is exactly when they'll make their next move. Number 4, do not assume that because someone has not already tried to do something negatively, financially, against you, that they won't. For example, do not underestimate that these financial narcissists won't attempt to put loans and other financial burdens in your name without you knowing it. Do not assume that, because they will. They will definitely try to do it unless you are vigilant enough and aware enough to stop them. So that's all that I have for all of you today. I wanted to thank you so very, very much for tuning in to this edition of You Are Not the Only One, and today's episode of Financial Narcissists and What They Do. Again, today's episode was focused and centered on financial narcissists and what they do. I may in fact do a follow-up video to this one, but in the meantime, this is what I have for you. So please, by all means, I wanted to thank you so very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thank you for your extreme patience in waiting for me to come back at you with another video. It would be very appreciative and very helpful, and I would like it so very much. Please leave me with your comments down below, and more than that, if you like it, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and more than that, if you think enough of this video, it would warm my heart most agreeably if you would pass this on and share this video with friends, co-workers, loved ones, associates, business partners, and or anyone else that you feel that has been affected by a narcissist that has done awful things against you financially. Please, I don't want to see anyone else in the situation that I, myself, people that I know, and others around me have been in. Please like and share this video. Thank you.